Welcome back to the channel. My name's Adrian and I'm delighted to say I finally have Letters from the Dark Volume 9 Book of the Dead in my hands, well, PDF copy, to go through and give you my thoughts and review. It's been a long time coming, this one. There's been a little bit of a delay between 8 and 9. It also, 9 does include a teaser for 10, which I'm really excited about what 10 is going to be. We'll come on to that as we get through it. But there has been a long delay between 8 and 9. Has it been worth the wait? Yes. Yeah, this is... I really liked 8 and 9. Book of the Dead. I am a big fan of Egyptian mythology, so I'm slightly biased, but it's actually, this is good because it's the first time I've seen a level 10 adventure in a book. And I recently ran a level 5 adventure, and it was so quick to take the players as a one-shot for this. And there's all the rules for taking the players from 0 to 10. And these magic items they're going to get. There is Egyptian gods in here. There's lots of random, there's new vampire stuff, werewolves, undead, loads of Egyptian creatures and monsters, a hex crawl map. Let me just get in there. I'm just excited. This is, so I've been waiting for this for ages and ages and ages. And I've got my copy of it. It's PDF only on TTRPG, but I don't care. I'm quite happy just to take the PDFs, and I've started using Lulu for a few things now, but here is the link. So we've got Letters from the Dark, Volume 9, Book of the Dead. And as you can see, undead person, mummy, Egyptian on the front. And it's got some details of a land, the setting of a high-level adventures, 10th level adventure with 3 pyramids at the end that are all completely different. They're 3-leveled pyramids as well. Some legendary items in here, some cursed items. There's jinxed items as well to come in, as well as a variety of different undead, skeletons and zombies. If you are going to pick this up, or when you pick this up, because you're going to want this one, please do consider using my affiliate link, because I did pay for this and it helps me just put the money that's generated back into the channel to buy more things like this, to give you more reviews. For everyone that is using my affiliate link, thank you so much. I know it's a little bit of extra effort to just go in, click on that and then buy it, but it doesn't cost you anything out. But everything that is generated just all goes back into the channel to allow me to keep bringing these reviews. Right, I need to shut up and just get on with this. Now, if you are a player, you... actually, you can be in here for a little bit, so you'll find. I'll tell you when you need to go as a games master. You're going to want to run this. I've never ran a 10th level adventure. This is going to be a great 10th level adventure to run. You've got a hex crawl, 3 pyramids at the end, 3 undead. I'm going to stop there because of the players. Okay, let me do the book and then we'll get into everything else. So, right, I need to get rid of that first, don't I? So here's the front cover. And like with all of Chris's books, these aren't your standard ShadowDark books. They're not the black and white. All of them tend to have white images and a different colour background. They are bright and they do stand out. And here we go. 10th level. Oh yeah, there's some really good traps in here. Some new traps, 3 dungeons and new undead. Right, well, just get in. Here we go. Designed and written by Chris Powell. And there's some special puzzles in here. Oh, should have said, there are player handouts as well in this. This is a 15-page document. I'm not going to show you this because the players have got, because there'll be some spoilers if you're a player in here. So there's a lot of puzzles in these pyramids that is spot on themed, and these handouts will help the players sort of go through the puzzles, and it's got some of the solutions in here, so I'm not going to scroll through that and spoil it. There are 12 individual maps that come alongside this as well when you do download it from TTRPG. As with all these Letters from the Dark, it is written from this sort of first-person perspective where he's writing in and sort of giving details of the tombs here, and then we've got the contents that we're used to now. It is hyperlinked, but we'll go through the front matter, which is the letter here and the content. Then we've got some new lore and rules, which players you can sit around and have a look. You can talk about the deities in here, 10th level, some curses, some jinxed items, some really cool traps, some examples of the traps as well. We then get some sort of stats, monsters, undead, and the Lich-Pharaohs, which are your 3-level bosses at the end. And then we've got pyramid schemes, which is the adventure. So half the book, well, the first sort of 20 pages players can be in. The rest of it is games master stuff and stats. So if you're a games master, you've probably already bought this. If you haven't, link to, buy it at the end. great book. If you are a player, once we get to the trap... No, actually, I think you should probably go now. Yeah, if you have no intention of ever running this, send this to your games master, but as a player, yeah, you should probably go. Bye. Okay, right, let's get into the lore and rules changes. In summary, this is a very much Egyptian adjacent world, and 3 pharaohs have basically gone, do you know what, we don't want to die. So they've gone out, they've sought out Ra, Osiris and Anubis and killed them, and then taken over, become their sort of gods with some of their... They've taken over their pyramids, which we'll come on to at the end of the sort of hex crawl campaign setting. And then they've got this legendary artifact that's within the pyramid as well. That's the thing that's basically keeping them alive. And the problem with this world is no one's now dying. There's people are just wandering around in their unlife. So what we need is a bunch of high-level brave adventurers to go out and kill the people that won't die. You'd sort of the word Lich-Pharaohs, which is quite frightening. They are high level, so they're going to be quite tough. I think all of them are 19th level, but we've got the stats for them, so I'll show you them when we get to. We've got 4 new ancestors here. We've got catfolk, which they can fall from any height without taking any damage, quite on theme. Crocodilians, they can swim at full speed and they can hold their breath for up to an hour. Cobalt, they can take half damage from traps and have advantage on checks to avoid their effects. And then we've got the Scarabib, I think that's how it's pronounced, and your relic starts with 1 random legacy, which is a 10th a relic is a 10th level magic item in this that you randomly create. Okay, so we've got some deities here. Ra. I was just confusing Law and Ra there. That's the joys of my reading ability. Osiris and Anubis. So your lawful, neutral and lawful gods. And then we've got some minor deities here. And you can worship some of the minor deities. And if you do, they roll a d12. They will give you, depends on which one. Let's just pick on Horus here, who's a lawful one. If you roll a 4. Whenever you are targeted by a hostile spell, there's a 1 in 6 chance that it's reflected back at the originator. Not incredibly powerful, but when it does happen, you're going to be really appreciative, and your games master is going to be quite annoyed that that's going to bounce back at them. This section then covers how you level up to 10th level and how people are going to treat them. So titles from the ShadowDark main rulebook are out because, you know, at 10th, beyond 10th level, you're a super god type, but without being a god, if that makes sense. Wealth becomes irrelevant because you can pretty much buy whatever you want. You're going to have whatever land, servants, or purchases or keeps that you're going to need. It just say, you know, take what you want from Letters of the Dark, Volume 4, Borderlands, which that's essential purchase. I did a video of that. That's, I think, Chris's highest selling one. For good reasons. There's a lot of good information there for a games master. If you haven't bought that one, go and check it. I'll link that one specifically at the end of this video so you can watch it if you don't have it. As a 10th level character, NPCs are going to treat you completely differently. So low level goons are just going to run off. Mid-level goons, they're going to try and bargain next rather than fight. High-level characters, they're going to recognise you, they treat you as a threat, and presumably try and assassinate you. Merchants might give you discounts, nobles are going to invite you to courts, and town folks will offer you free meals and lodgings. I suppose, yeah, that actually works whether you're heroic or villainous, because, you know, if people are... you know, you are incredibly powerful but still evil, they're still going to treat you nicely, aren't they? So as you get to 10th level, you are going to need a relic, which is a specific magic item here, and there's some rules in here for generating it. You can use the ShadowDark rulebook or pick an item from ShadowDark rulebook page 282, things like potions and weapons and armor, whatever it is you may want, and then you can have some random roll here. So you roll in 2d6 to pick up something else, which, you know, if you roll between a 3 and a 5, you're going to gain another random benefit from the ShadowDark core rulebook, because magic, well, 10th level characters should have powerful items. At some stages during this adventure, or other things, because this is what's so great about these Letters from the Dark thing, you can plug and play lots of the tables. There's a load of curses. If you're a fan of this channel, you know I love curses. I love cursed items, and beyond curses, we've got jinxed items as well. So random curses here, you roll a d20, you know, they might end up sunblind, you are blinded in bright light. But jinx weapons are really fun. Curse weapons are great. Jinx weapons, equally as fun, because the players, what happens with a Jinx weapon is a player can't actually get rid of it. Curse weapons, sometimes you can put it down or get rid of it. And so, for example, we'll just look at this Jinxed item here, the Gauntlets of Fright. So they're the same as the Gauntlets of Might. However, they've got this curse that they're going to reduce to half hit points. When you're reduced to half hit points, you must pass a morale check or flee for a d4 rounds. And say these, once equipped, Jinx items cannot be removed without casting a restoration or a higher tier spell. So good luck putting it down or getting rid of it. Traps. Several pages now on how to make traps a little bit more interesting. Because obviously one of the downsides of ShadowDark, or a good side, depending on Games Masters or player and how you feel about it. Obviously, if players are searching for traps and skilled in that, they normally detect them, but this is a good way of sort of giving some indicators and making it more a little bit about role playing as a games master. So some of the indicators, you can have sight, so that have previous victims there, discolored sections on the floor, changes in sounds or smells or feel as well, and have different things to trigger, and you can make the trigger avoided. I did read about someone actually solving a trap puzzle with charisma the other day. Might have even been a month or 6 months ago. You never know how life works. And he convinced someone else to go and deal with it, and they set it off, and he survived, and the trap was triggered. So effectively he used charisma to solve a trap problem. But this talks about different solutions. Some may be disarm, some to avoid, some to bypass. But you might actually have traps that have no solutions down the bottom here, so it's risk versus reward. And then we've got some really interesting examples of traps here. So like an acid vat trap. Where's the coin one? Here's the coin one here. So, got a pile of coins on the floor. As you can see, for example, this is a fake coin here. So you plug that out and then the monster or the gas or whatever comes out, and each of these traps will have the trap, the indicator in there, the trigger, and then the solution of what the players should do. I love ooze traps. Who doesn't love an ooze trap? I saw one the other day, and I don't know why I never thought of that. And that's you put the ooze in just a pond of water or a puddle or whatever it may be, so it's completely obscured, and then wow, everyone likes that. Well, it's like mimics, isn't it? Okay, we're now getting into the monster stats, and there's some cool, really good, exciting themed monsters in here, as you can imagine, for Egyptian sort of stuff. There are some gnolls, because in part of the hex crawl map there is a big sort of gnoll city in there that's going to, the players, it depends on where they go, doesn't it, where they're going to. So we've got Nubians here, so some jackal-headed monsters and creatures, sort of necromancers, Shah, some prisoners. We've got 4 different types of sphinxes. The sphinxes are pretty powerful, I think. Well, look at the 2 that there were 16, both 16, and what are these? Okay, level 7 and level 9. Okay, so I'd say, because the character's level 10, you're like, okay, they won't be that powerful, but it's quite nice to see some bigger level monsters and creatures to fight against as well. And then this nice little section here talks about undead and different tiers. So as the players level up, you can give the undead additional powers. So for example, we've got a supreme undead here, so between 9th and 15th level, so it's going to get immunity to morale checks, only damaged by magical resources, and once it gets to level 16, it's going to, in addition to that, hostile spells target are DC 18 to cast against it. So we've got some undead types as well, different ones. So ghost, skeletal, vampire, zombies will have some different impacts and effects to the characters. And then if you want to make them look a little bit more unique or a little bit interesting, on the right hand side we've got some random d12 tables here for skeletal, zombie and ghost features, but along with some additional ghosts in here that talk about and details about sort of possessing areas. Then got some additional skeletons, including the bone dragon, as well as zombies here and a zombie dragon, just in case you want to be throwing bone and zombie dragons at the players. Okay, the 3 high-level Lich-Pharaohs. I might have called them Pharaoh Liches at the start. Same thing-ish. So these are the 3 pharaohs that were going to be dying and didn't want to die, so they then basically each killed a god each. So we've got, is it Haknef? Oh, I guess, killed Anubis. Kambek killed Osiris, and then Atuha killed Ra. They've all taken over their pyramids, and each of the pyramids are then themed to it. So that's Hakaneth his pyramid is full of vampires and ghosts and undead. The Kambek, the pyramid they're in, the Happy River goes straight through, so that is river themed and aquatic. And then Atu, is it Ataha? Atahu? I don't know. Is the patriot that killed Ra, which obviously being the sun god. So you want to basically get the solar crown. So a lot of the puzzles in that pyramid are related to light for obvious reasons. We've then got the stats for each of the 3 Lich-Pharaohs, which I'm not going to show you because that's up to you to go and find. But as you can see, I'll just quickly say a full page for each one. I'm a little bit sad there's no art for all of these. They have got descriptors. So Kambek is a hulking zombie with the head of a decomposing crocodile. Fungi sprout in the muck that drips from his mouldy wrappings. I just would have liked, if you're going to do a big epic campaign with 3 big level bosses, just me, I'd like to kind of see that. And now we're going to get into the adventure. So I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to show you what's in here. So we've got, it's about 46 pages, 45 pages, because the last page is the spoiler of book 10. But this just tells you the characters should start at level 10, gives you the languages that they're going to speak in here. So the travel rules, so as they're going from hexes 0 to 79, you're going to do a check every 2 hexes, and when they rest, you're going to have 2 checks. Once they go to 80 and above, you're going to be rolling every other hex, and at night you'd roll in twice as often. We've got some random encounter tables included here for the desert, river and coast tables as well. When you die, you just roll up a brand new character at 10th level. The relic does stay in the adventure, and the players can use the relic, but the new player will roll a new relic. When starting the adventure, you're going to start in Hex 005 here, Caravanserai, I think that may be pronounced. And that's just going to give you a reason then to go on to Luxo, because you're going to help a caravan move some items through. And you're going to go through the Hex area and sort of discover the area. And here we go. Here's the Hex all the way through a variety of different, including the Sphinx over here. This is your Cobalt City. And then eventually they will get, did you say you've got the west and the east bank as well, because it's technically the Nile, within reason. And then you've got the 3 pyramids right at the top. So this is where the players will end up at the end. I've got to say, you've got your 3 different encounter tables here, depends on whether west, river or east. Different encounters, whether you want aquatic, monster, people, etc. in there. Then each of the areas, I'm not going to say, I don't want to spoil this, go out and find your own things, because some of them have got puzzles and still got some traps in there as well. So they're going to walk all the way through, and then eventually you're going to get to 125, the Happy River mouth, and they're going to see these 3 gigantic pyramids. Well, one large one, one medium one, and one little tiny one, the river one at the back. I'll take each of the Lich-Pharaohs are in these. Each one is very much themed to how it sounds. And to destroy the Pharaoh, they're going to have to go and find a specific magic item. But each of them will have their own random tables in here. It talks about the construction, whether it's dark or daylight throughout, and then the locations of where the Lich-Pharaohs are going to be. And you get this for each of them, give you the 3rd. I think all of them have got 3 floors, I seem to remember. So you've got each floor, and this looks confusing, but don't worry, it's covered. So it does detail a little bit more here. It gives you the value, and they do actually come with when you download the PDF as well. So player facing and games master facing to put into VTTs. And it'll give it doors, whether they're locked, secret doors, trapped, and or stairs. And each of the rooms will have some sort of descriptor, and then things like spike wall trap. And this is why I don't want to kind of show it, because there's lots of traps in here. It's very much related to, I'll just quickly set the player handouts, because there are different traps that as a games master you're going to hand out to the players to solve and fix, like the moon mosaic puzzle in here. So it's related to light. And then we've got the river one, exactly the same, the 3 floors in here, and each of them are shown first, second, big puzzle, 3rd floor, big epic battle at the end, and then we've finally got the solar one, again over the 3 floors. Some other puzzles, some excavation sites, some light puzzle here with a light beam, and then it just tells you what's the aftermath, what's going to happen. So assuming the players survive, you get to the aftermath. If they don't, I suppose you just keep creating more players till eventually you will get to the aftermath and what happens, which I'm not going to show you. And here we go, book 10, Adventures in Archaeology, which is Indiana Jones pulp sort of stuff. So we've got unique classes, gears, weapons, combat rules, plus 4 real-world adventures set between 1930 and 1940s. Give me Indiana Jones. Give me Lara Croft. You know, even though Lara Croft's more recent. You know what I mean, though. That sort of pulp action adventure sort of go out. That's cool. I was worried that we're going to get to 9 and then there wouldn't be anything else. But I'm pumped for 10. 9. Oh, I know I lost my way. Oh, I say I really loved 8, and I think 7, the monster one, was the only one that I wasn't completely excited about. I'm so glad Chris has actually gone for a high level adventure, because as a games master, you're going to be like, okay, if you've never ran a high level adventure, say I've done a 5th level one, and first level characters don't take too long to create, so don't panic. The equipment takes a while, you know, sorting out your gear slots and everything else, but they can do that. But to go from 1st to 5th took about an extra 2 minutes, because all you're doing is rolling 3 more times on the talent charts, and then obviously your title. And exactly the same with going to 10th level. You know, you're just 2 more your powers and your abilities. So even if players die, it's going to be very quick. But even if you don't want to run the adventure, why wouldn't you want to run the adventure? You've got some really good and interesting abilities to level up undead creatures. You know, those bits with the ghosts, the zombies, and the ghouls. You've got, well, the Lich-Pharaohs. They're going to be quite tough and interesting to take down. They're also, I'll give you a little bit of a hint in here, because the game talks about they have got a very, very thin alliance. And smart players, if they work it out, obviously you're going to have to help them a bit as a games master, but it does mean that they might potentially be able to play 1 or 2 of the Pharaohs off each other to make it a little bit easier. But the traps themselves, these new rules for traps, you're going to want to take those and put into any adventure. Curses, who's not going to want to curse weapons? Jinxed weapons, absolutely brilliant as well. A couple of ancestries. Well, there's 4 new ancestries, which are quite unique to the setting, but there's absolutely no reason. If you were just going to go a full-in Pathfinder 5th edition type, anyone can play anything in anything. I think more ancestries, the better. Obviously, if you're going to run a specific campaign, you might not want to be throwing in some of these ancestries from this book, but it's absolutely amazing. It's been worth the wait. I'm so glad that I picked this one up, because, you know, as time goes on, you sort of go a little bit colder on someone's series of books because you haven't had one for a while. Think Game of Thrones. You know, when the next book finally comes out, is anyone going to read it? I suppose it's a slight thing because now we've had the TV series. Will anyone? But this has been great. Really good book, Chris. So well done again for absolutely smashing it. Can't wait for 10. Everyone else, if you are going to buy this, please do consider using my affiliate link. If you want to help and support me, please come and find me on, I've got my own Patreon, I've got Discord, I've got Facebook, X, and TikTok. Please do subscribe to the channel so I can bring more. Well, you can see me do more videos like this. Say, if you use the affiliate link, it helps me put more money back into the channel to do reviews like this. And if you're still here, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.